welcome to our channel Knowledge of, and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're going to start with your quantitative aptitude class, and that is your 143rd class of the session. This is in the quantitative aptitude. We had started with arithmetical ability. In that we are in on our 14th topic, that is your 14th topic we are dealing here, which is your chain rule. Before that we had done your 13th topic, that is the last topic. 13th topic we had done is your partnership. All these topics were important in terms of the competition when you gone through with this. And as I told you beforehand only, that whatever the questions we provide and whatever the solution we provide, before the solution you have to do the questions by your own side. And if you are able to do that, and of course that is tell you about how much you have prepared for the competition, and are you able to solve these type of a question or not. And if you're not you are not easily solve all these type of a question, so yes, for sure, for the same, for those students we are providing the solution as well on the same class. So it's a huge request to all the, before starting with this, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go ahead with like, share and subscribe, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even you can also enjoy the video as well. Coming towards chain rule, there were the important facts and the formulas that you have to discuss about it. So first we'll discuss about the direct proportion, which is your direct proportion. What is direct proportion? Before starting with the chain rule in a detail about the questions, so first of all you have to know some of the terms related to it, which is, first you have to know about the direct proportion, second is you have to know about the indirect proportion. So all these type of proportion, then you can understand the question, and you will be analyze that these type of a question is are related to the direct proportion or indirect proportion. So in terms of direct proportion, here the two quantities are said to be directly proportional if on the increase or a decrease of the one, the other increase or the decrease to the same that extent as well. For example, like cost is directly proportional to the number of articles, like more articles more cost, and or work done is directly proportional to the number of men working on it, like more men more work. And in terms of it, so I just write it down all these because you can make a note if you are making note, so then you are able to understand if you've gone through with this. So just write it down. First, what I said, two quantities are said to be directly proportional. Two quantities are said to be directly proportional so on the same way, that that is your directly proportional if on the increase or decrease of the one, the other increase or decrease to the same extent. Okay, so for example, as I told you, so we do that. So here the examples were, the first example I told you, cost is directly proportional to the number of articles, that is more article, more cost. The second example, we have work done is directly proportional to the number of men working on it. We have more men and more work. Okay, so here more men, more work. Okay, now we talk about for the second category, that is your indirect proportion. So the second category we have indirect proportion. In terms of indirect proportion, where the two quantities are said to be indirectly proportional if on the increase of the one the other decreases to the same extent, and or vice versa. For example, for this, that the time taken by a car is covering a certain distance in inversely proportional to the speed of the car, where more speed less is the time taken to cover the distance. The other one we can say is time taken to finish work is inversely proportional to the number of person work at it. That is, your more persons, so less in the time taken to finish your job. You have to consider about this, that is your in solving questions by chain rule, you have to compare every item with the terms to be find out. So for the same we go here, that is two quantities are said to be are said to be indirectly proportional if on the increase of the one the other decrease to the same extent. And vice versa. Now talk about for the examples here. That is the example one we talk here, which is the time taken by a car in covering a certain distance is inversely proportional to the speed of the car. Here we can say that more speed less time taken to cover distance. Okay, the example second, we can say time taken to finish a work. Time taken to finish a work is inversely proportional to the number of persons working at it. Which is more person, less time taken to cover to finish the job. Okay, so how you have to answer it out, and as I told you have to remark on these. That is your, in solving questions by chain rule, we have to compare every item with the term to be find out. So let's go for the question. As I told you about the indirect and direct proportion, so you have to consider about it, and then I have to answer it out as well. So the first question for the session is that we have here. The question is, if 15 toys cost rupees 234, what do 35 toys cost? अगर 15 टॉयज़ जो हैं आपके वो 234 रुपीज़ के हैं, यू हैव टू आंसर, तो 35 टॉयज़ कॉस्ट क्या होगा? लेट्स फाइंड इट आउट. If 15 toys cost rupees 234, what do 35 toys cost? Okay, so we have to answer it out. Let go for the solution. So let the required cost be rupees X, then more toys, more cost, that is your direct proportional. more toys क्योंकि toys बढ़ रहे हैं. Okay, so more toys, more cost. So more toys, more cost किसका है? That is your first for direct proportion. तो हमने जब ये फाइंड कर लिया डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शन, इट मीन्स वी डू सो 15:35, क्योंकि 35 रेशियो है. 15 का कॉस्ट हमको पता है विच इज़ 234, और 35 चॉइस का हमको फाइंड करना है, दैट इज़ एक्स. सो 15 इंटू एक्स इक्वल्स टू 35 इंटू 234. ओके, देन this is on divide 15 upon 35 and 234 upon x. So x will multiply 15 and 35 will multiply 234. That's what I had written here. So this is a basic. If you don't know, you can just write it down. X equals to 35 into 234 by 15. जो x के साथ था वो नीचे चला जाएगा. That is 15 in the denominator. If you cancel it out, 5 3s are 15 and 5 7s are 35. Then we have 3 here, so we cancel it out. 3 1s are 3, 3 7s are 21, 2 and 3 8s are 24, 78 7s are, it will be 546. So we get as an answer 546. So hence the cost of 35 toys is rupees 546. Okay, so this is the first question we had done. This is some of the basic rules that we had done, and we have to consider about the first proportion, and accordingly we have to answer it out. We go for the another question, that is the second question of the chain rule. So we go for it. The second question is, if 36 men can do a piece of work in 25 hours, in how many hours will 15 men can do it? तो बोला गया है अगर 36 men हैं, वो एक काम कर रहे हैं 25 आवर्स में, तो आपको बताना है कि 15 men वही काम, सेम काम कितने घंटे में करेंगे. सो यू हैव टू आंसर इट आउट. क्योंकि यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि आपका जो मेन है वो कम हो रहा है, तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि घंटे आपके ज़्यादा बढ़ेंगे. सो व्हाट इज़ दिस प्रपोर्शन इज़ ऑल अबाउट इनडायरेक्ट प्रपोर्शन. तो अगर आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, यू विल बी एनालाइजेस कि वो किस टाइप का प्रपोर्शन है, एंड यू कैन आंसर इट आउट सेम. सो वी गो फॉर द क्वेश्चन. इफ 36 men can do a piece of work in 25 hours, in how many hours will 15 men do it? So here we go for it. Let the required number of hours be x. Then talk here, that is your less men, more hour, which is your indirect proportion, which is 15 36. 15 upon 36 will be पहले आपके कम हुए 15, and then you will get to know about the 36 that they had given you. तो 36 वाले जो हैं वो आपका 25 hours में बता रहे हैं, and another you have to find it out. So 15 into x equals to 36 into 25. On your same way, it will give you x equals to 36 into 25 upon 15. So here this is 5 3s are 15, and 5 5s are 25, 3 1s are 3, 3 12, so 36, and so 12 5s are, you also know, that is 60. So hence 15 men can do it in 60 hours. Okay, that is the question here. Now we go for the another one, and the another important question that has been the important one here, and which is the question we have: if the wages of 6 men for 15 days be rupees 2100, that is 2100, then find the wages of 9 men for 12 days. Okay, so you have to go for it. So here we will go for the question, and that what we'll have to answer here. So the question is, third question: if the wages of 6 men for 15 days be rupees 2100. Then find the wages of 9 men for 12 days. So let's go for the solution here. So with that, let the required wages be rupees X. So here, more men, more wages. This is direct proportion. Less days, less wages. This is also comes under the direct proportion. Now, men that we have 6:9, and days 15:12. So where that has been the ratio about 2100 ratio X. So we solve further, which is 6 into 15 into X equals to 9 into 12 into 2100. So further, X equals to 9 into 12 into 2100 upon 6 into 15. We cancel it out. 3 2s are 6 and 3 3s are 9. 2 1s are 2, 2 6 are 12. Then we have 3 2s are 6 and 3 5s are 15. And then we have here 5 1s are 5, 4s are 20, 5 2s are 10 and 0. So with the same, it will give you, when you multiply 3 into 2, that is 6, 6 into 420, we will get 2520. Okay, so hence the required wages were rupees 2420. Now we go for the next, and that will discuss about it, which is another question, and that has been the fourth question of the session. Hopefully that will be the last one as well for this. So we go for it, and that is the question we have. If 20 men can build a wall 56 meter long in 6 days, what length of a similar wall can be built by 35 men in 3 days? Let's go for the same here. So the question, it will be just we'll find it out. Fourth question. If 20 men can build a wall 56 meter long in 6 days, what length of a similar wall can be built by 35 men in 3 days? So let the required length be x meters. So here more men, more length built, which is in terms of direct proportion. Here less days, less length built, which is also comes under direct proportion. So men is 20:35, and where days 6:33. So that comes under the double ratio. We have 56:x. Now for the same, 20 into 6 into x equals to 35 into 3 into 56. So for the same, it will be x equals to 35 into 3 into 56 whole upon 120. We cancel it out. This test 3 1s are 3, 3 4s are 12 and 0. Then 5 7s are 35, 5 8s are 40. Then it will be 8 1s are 8 7s are 56. So it's 7 into 1, that is 7, and 7 7s are, that is your 49. You will get your 49 as an answer, and that is hence the required length is your 49 meter here. Okay, 49 meter, that will be the right answer for this question. Now further we continue with the next question of the sessions. That has been another important question here, which will be your fifth question of the sessions, and that is your in 144th class of the session as well. So the question I told you about it that we have to deal is, if the 15 men working 9 hours a day then can reap a field in 16 days, in how many days will 18 men reap the field and working 8 hours a day? So that you have to answer it out, and if you are able to understand what type of a question it will be, you can just answer it out and you can just share me that you had done, so that you know very well about the question. Now we go for another question here in the next coming class, but before ending it up, we had deal with the chemistry part 2 for class 11 and physics part 1 for class 11th as well. We are dealing with the computer-based numerical and statistical technique, which is another class of engineering subjects we are dealing. We are dealing in vocabulary. We had done your reasoning, which is your the another reasoning part. We have the verbal reasoning and the non-verbal reasoning we had done. Coming towards quantitative aptitude, yes, we had started with arithmetical ability. Here we had done numbers, SCF and LCF of numbers, decimal fractions, simplification, square roots and cube roots, averages, problems on numbers, problems on ages, earth and indices, percentage, profit and loss, ratio and proportion, partnership, and this is your 14